A chicken is trying to help out some people that were turned into ornaments. And the thing is, people don't like to be turned into ornaments. And this evil gnome king, made out of rock, decided that he was going to turn people into ornaments. Now, Dorothy was fine. She did a good job. But the Tin Woodman and the Scarecrow, I believe, got turned into ornaments. And that's not great. So now it's up to this hen to save them all. Chapter 16. Purple, green, and gold. The yellow hen, stepping high with an air of vast importance, walked slowly over the rich velvet carpets of the splendid palace, examining everything she met with her sharp little eyes. Billina had the right to feel important, for she alone shared the Gnome King's secret, and she knew how to tell the objects that were transformations from those that had never been alive. You see, Billina kind of overheard some talk of the Gnome King. That's how she knows all this stuff. And she was very sure that her guesses would be correct. But before she began to make them, she was curious to behold all the magnificence of this underground palace, which was perhaps one of the most splendid things and beautiful places in any fairyland. Oh, I got an alarm going off, which means I gotta hurry it up. Sorry, there's a bunch of things just popping up here on the screen. I'm like, what is happening? But I don't want to miss focus. And the focus is this book. Okay. As she went through the rooms, she counted the purple ornaments. Though some were small and hidden in queer places, Billina spied them all, and she found the entire 10 scattered about the various rooms. The green ornaments she did not bother to count, for she thought she could find them all when the time came. Finally, having made a survey of the entire palace and enjoyed its splendor, the yellow hen returned to one of the rooms where she had noticed a large purple footstool. She placed a claw upon this and said, "Ev!" And at once the footstool vanished, and a lovely lady, tall and slender, and most beautifully robed, stood before her. The lady's eyes were round with astonishment for a moment, for she could not remember her transformation, nor imagine what had restored her to life. "Good morning, ma'am. You're looking quite well considering your age." Terrible first impression, honestly. Especially when you've been an ornament so long. That's not the first thing you want to hear. Also, how do you know her age? Not sure. Okay, voice for this queen here. "Who speaks?" That was a terrible voice, but that's what it's going to be, demanded the Queen of Ev, drawing herself up proudly. "Why, my name is Bill by rights." The Bill of Rights. That's funny, answered the hen, who was now perched upon the back of a chair, although Dorothy had put scallops on it and made it Billina. But the name... Although Dorothy has put scallops on it and made it Billina. But the name doesn't matter. I've saved you from the Gnome King, and you are a slave no longer. "Then I thank you for your gracious favor," said the Queen, with a grateful curtsy. "But my children, tell me, I beg of you, where are my children?" She clasped her hands in an anxious entreaty. "Don't worry," advised Billina, pecking at a small bug that was crawling over her chair. "Just at present, they are out of mischief and perfectly safe, for they can't even wiggle." "What mean you, oh kindly stranger?" asked the Queen, striving to repress her anxiety. "They're enchanted," said Billina, "just as you have been, all except the little fellow Dorothy picked out. And the chances are that they have been good boys and girls for some time, because they couldn't help it." "Oh, my poor darlings," cried the Queen, with a sob of anguish. "Not at all," returned the hen. "Don't let their condition make you unhappy, ma'am, because I'll soon have them crowding round to bother and worry you as naturally as ever." What a sales pitch. "Come with me, if you please, and I'll show you how pretty they look." She flew down from her perch and walked into the next room. As she passed a low table, a small green grasshopper caught her eye, and instantly Billina pounced on it and snapped it up with her sharp bill. For grasshoppers are a favorite food of hens, and usually must be caught quickly before they hop away. Again, we do know what grasshoppers are, and that they hop. Why the detail here? I'm just going to give some facts, but they're facts that we all know. If it were something interesting, yeah, let's hear it. But we do know it's in the name grasshopper. Yes, they hop. They hop. They hop. Okay. It might easily have been the end of Ozma of Oz, had she been a real grasshopper instead of an emerald one. Oh, what? So it's clearly not a grasshopper, but we thought it was. But Billina found the grasshopper hard and lifeless, and suspecting it was not good to eat, she quickly dropped it instead of letting it slide down her throat. So to be clear, the hen Billina almost ate the ruler of Oz. Wow. Okay. That's something. I might have known better, she muttered to herself. For where there is no grass, there can be no live grasshoppers. Demonstrably false statement there. This is probably one of the king's transformations. I thought it was just like an ornamental grasshopper, but it's like, question mark, maybe. It's like maybe a real lifeless grasshopper? This is getting weird, I say now. A moment later, she approached one of the purple ornaments, and while the queen watched her, the hen broke the Gnome King's enchantment, and a sweet-faced girl whose golden hair fell in a cloud over her shoulders stood beside them. Havana! Cried the queen. My own Havana! She clasped the girl to her bosom and covered her face with kisses. What? That's all right, said Billina contentedly. I'm a good guesser, Mr. Gnome King. Well, I guess. Then she disenchanted another girl, whom the queen addressed as Evrose, and afterwards another boy named Evardo, who was older than his brother Evering. Indeed, the yellow hen kept the good queen exclaiming and embracing for some time, until five princesses and four princes, all looking very much alike except for the difference in size, stood in a row beside their happy mother. The princesses were named Havana, Evrose, Avella, Evrini, and Evenda, while the princes were Evrob, Evington, Evaldo, and Evroland. And the princes were named Evrob, Evering, Evardo, and Toby. No, I'm just kidding. And Evroland. Of these, Evardo was the eldest, and would inherit the father's throne and be crowned King of Ev when he returned to his own country. He was a grave and quiet youth, and would doubtless rule his people wisely and with justice. Oh, good. I hope that's for real. Billina, having restored all of the royal family of Ev to their proper forms, now began to select the green ornaments which were the transformation of the people of Oz. She had a little trouble finding these, but before long the 26 officers, as well as the private, were gathered around the yellow hen, joyfully congratulating her upon their release. The 37 people who were now alive in the rooms of the palace knew very well that they owed their freedom and their cleverness to the yellow hen, and they were earnest in thanking her for saving them from the magic of the Gnome King. Now, said Billina, I must find Ozma. She is sure to be here somewhere, because, of course, she is green, being from Oz. So look around, you stupid soldiers, and help me in my search. Getting a little cocky there for a chicken. The way to get the soldiers to help, probably not call them stupid. For a while, however, they could discover nothing more that was green. How about that grasshopper we just saw and almost ate? Come on. For a while, however, they could discover nothing more that was green. But the queen, who had kissed all 9 children once more, and could now find time to take interest in what was going on, said to the hen, Mayhap, my gentle friend, it is the grasshopper whom you seek. Of course it's the grasshopper, exclaimed Billina. I declare I'm nearly as stupid as these brave soldiers. Wait for me, and I'll go back and I'll get it. So she went into the room where she had seen the grasshopper, and presently Ozma of Oz, as lovely and dainty as ever, entered in and approached the Queen of Ev, greeting her as one high-born princess greets another. But where are my friends, the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman? Asked the girl ruler, when the curtsies had been exchanged. I'll hunt them up, replied Billina. The Scarecrow is solid gold, and so is Tick-Tock. But I don't know exactly what the Tin Woodman is, because the Gnome King had said he transformed him into something funny. Ozma eagerly assisted the hen in her quest, and soon the Scarecrow and the Machine Man, being ornaments of shining gold, were discovered, and restored to their accustomed forms. But search as they might, in no place could they find a funny ornament that might be the transformation of the Tin Woodman. The only thing that can be done, said Ozma at last, is that to return to the Gnome King and oblige him to tell us what has become of his and oblige him to tell us what has become of our friend?
What? Perhaps he won't,
suggested Billina.
Oh, he must, returned Ozma firmly. The king has not treated us honest, for under the mask of fairness and good nature he has entrapped us all, and we would have been forever enchanted had not our wise and clever friend, the Yellow Hen, found a way to save us.
The king is a villain,
declared the Scarecrow. His life is worse than another man's frown, said the private with a shudder.
I thought he was honest, but I was mistaken, remarked Tick-Tock. My thoughts are usually correct, but it is Smith and Tinker's fault that they sometimes go wrong and do not work properly.
That's good. Blame your thinking on someone else.
Yeah. Smith and Tinker made a very good job of you,
said Ozma kindly.
I do not think they should be blamed if you are not quite perfect.
Thank you, replied Tick-Tock.
Then,
said Billina in her brisk little voice,
let us all go back to the Gnome King to see what he has to say for himself.
So they started to the entrance, Ozma going first with the Queen and her train of little princes and princesses following. Then came Tick-Tock and the Scarecrow with Billina perched upon the straw-stuffed soldier. The 27 officers in the private brought up the rear. As they reached the hall, the doors flew open before them. They all stopped and stared into the domed cavern with faces of astonishment and dismay. For the room was filled with the mail-clad warriors of the Gnome King, rank after rank standing in orderly array. The electric lights upon their brows gleamed brightly. Their battle axes were poised as if to strike down their foes, yet they remained motionless as statues awaiting the word of command. And at the center of this terrible army sat the little king upon his throne of rock. But he neither smiled nor laughed. Instead, his face was distorted with rage, most dreadful to behold. Well, that ends the chapter.